Hi, I'm Snake Jackson, and I'm a producer. My hair is growing. People ask me, how come you can produce? Answer, my hair is long. This here is a sarcasm whistle, and it's very useful if you're speaking to somebody who tells you a not particularly interesting story, because you don't even have to use your voice. You can just go, or they won't shut up. You can go, 38 quid that was. I bought it years ago. Right, good evening. Welcome to Vintage Cheese with Cheese. My name is Snake Jackson, and this today is the completely knackered Harmonics Solette. Now, I hadn't ever heard of one of these until a few months ago when somebody put one under my nose and I ended up getting it. They told me they reckoned it was from the 50s, but I've done some research and it looks like it was made in about 66 or 67, 1966 or 67, by this company called Harmonics, who were in Bromley in Kent, I think. That might be wrong. This is the single manual version, and it's got 61 keys, so it's pretty. It's got all the stuff.
It doesn't have 61 keys at the moment, though, does it?
Oh no. Yeah, it's missing some teeth, but I have got the teeth. I've taken these off to show you what's under there. You see, so yes, so this is the Solette. They did a double version, a dual manual version called the Duet or something rather, not really ever seen one of them. The only other official sighting of one of these is in a magazine from 1972, and the magazine's called Practical Electronics Supplement, and it's got a picture of one of these in it, looking quite nicely spruced. This one is God. No, hang on, it's there. It's got a working music stand. Oh no, it hasn't. It's got a broken music stand, and it basically just plugs into the mains. Let's just turn it on. Right, let's just turn it on. Still not working. Let's just turn it on. Right. Let me sit at the stool. Now this has got a knee trembler underneath it, quite a nice one, a bit like on an old Univox keyboard, or a little bit like the one they've got on the old Hammond chord organ as well. But it's really good because it's although it doesn't work properly at the moment, this is a pretty good tiny organ here that would be useful for someone who was a church goer organist, because it's basically got the full size keyboard, and it's also got the 16-foot bass and bourdon sounds on here, which is quite unusual for something of this size, and also it's got built-in speakers as well, which are underneath. So let's give you a bit of a blast of what it does. It doesn't have a vast amount. None of the filters are working at the moment in this, but the only thing that is working is the vibrato. But let me just sort of give you a bit of a blast. So oh, it's that one. You should be able to hear there's a fairly meaty bass sound there. And then there's vibrato. So you can hear it's in desperate need of a full going over. I have actually begun to do this. If I just open it up, you can see here. Firstly, I've taped up the dangerous mains transformer and the dangerous looking switch and the other bits as well. So inside you've got the power supply, the amp, onboard amp for the two speakers. This is the filter section, which is not working at the moment. I have actually replaced all of the electrolytic capacitors in this with almost the same values of everything. Then you've got the tone generator circuits down here, and these are all plug-in ones, and they are actually wired to the earth is wired on, like, hardwired in, which is, I think, is a bit of a strange thing. But anyway, so I suppose it means it's always connected to ground. And there's a couple of there's all the keys are connected under here. So each individual key is connected to one of the sets of tones. I haven't actually got into this. I haven't managed to get into the thing underneath yet, because the way that the keys work is it's basically push buttons here with this spring, and it's got a kind of a standard sort of piano-y organ-like wooden key mechanism, and actually feels quite nice when it's not sticking together. But it's got this perspex over the top of it, and then if I just clean that off, it's got some what looks like some sort of keying matrixy thing or something, or maybe bus bars, I'm not sure, under there. So it's a bus bar thing. So very similar to like the Lowry we've got here in terms of the function. But from what I can make out, you can't get to this part of it underneath the thing. You have to just take all the keys off first, and that's a bit of a job, because they're on quite solidly, and some of the screws are sort of like knackered. Now, the one major drawback with fixing an organ like this, or in fact fixing many 60s, 70s organs, is it's usually chock full of impossible to get hold of or expensive germanium transistors. And this one is no exception to that. It's got quite a lot of, I can't see, hang on, AC115s. It's got quite a few of those. I can't remember how much they were when I looked for them online, but they are fairly substantial to get replacement ones. So there's probably about maybe 15 of those there. On the boards themselves, let's just look at these ones here. There is a few more of these AC, whatever I just said, I can't remember what it said. AC115s on there, I think. And then here we've got a TK47C, which of that black thing there. And these are again, germanium transistors that haven't been made for years and are quite sought after, I think. and costs an incredible amount of money if you can find one, new old stock. There is an equivalent, which I've forgotten the number of, but I've got a book of equivalents somewhere, but even those equivalents are about £10 each. Luckily, it looks like there's only one of those per tone generator board. So there's 12 tone generator boards, so that would be £120. But that doesn't really necessarily mean that there's it's going to work. But it's quite interesting that every single note has a little inductor on it. So this must have cost a fair amount of money to make. If you look on here, there's these like tiny like miniature transformer inductor things here for every single note. So that would make it an LC oscillator circuit. I think that's what it would go. It's a basically 12 tones are generated on this, and then it's got divisions down. So there's not one single tone generator, there's 12 separate ones, and then for each note, like for G, for instance, there'd be the main tone that would be a G, and then it's divided down to a G below, and the G below, and G below, and G below. But it certainly looks an interesting thing, and if I can at least get the filter section to work, it'd be quite interesting to see how varied that is, because it's got, if you look on here, it's got quite a lot of, quite a lot of options here for the different tones it's got. And it might be all crap, but it might be quite good. I mean, it sounds interesting when I switch it on and get a bit of a sound out of it. But yes, it'd be nice to get it going. If anyone happens to have one of these, or even better, if they've got the service manual, diagrams, etc., schematic drawings, that would be very useful. Although, I mean, it looks to me to be sort of fairly similar to some other ones I've looked at and I've got here. But even so, it's always useful to see how things are connected up. And similarly, if anyone's got a massive stock of germanium transistors that they don't want anymore, they're not worth much anymore. So if you just want to donate them, we'll gladly take them here. So the good thing is that you, hopefully, if you can buy yourself a 38 quid whistle, you can go down to the pub or the library or wherever it is you go to chat to people. You can go in there and you can say, tell me about something. And they'll talk to you, and they'll talk to you about their lives and their boring marriages and their whatever. And everything that they say, you can just go. But beware, a lot of people already have these. So you might be down the pub and you might suddenly say, oh, I was watching a really interesting video the other day, Vintage Key Studio, and it was presented by someone called something like Sammy Snake, and whose real name is Steve. And he was talking about the Harmonics Solette, and they'll probably go, good night. Good morning. I forgot to mention that if I ever get anywhere with this, I will obviously do another video of it, but I'm not going to promise anything because it's in the right state. Yes, I don't enjoy fixing organs. People seem to think I quite enjoy spending hours and hours and hours trying to fault find things, but I don't. I don't enjoy fixing mixers, especially not that bastard over there that was gone now. It's not, it's in the toilet. But you'll be pleased to hear that the balancing transformers for the microphone preamp bits, there were 32 or 34 of those inside that desk. I'm making a pretend Abbey Road red REDD desk. So it won't actually be any of the insides of one, but it will just be some of what was inside the old desk that I've put in the toilet. And I've got it sounding quite nice, actually. Made a few amendments to it, and hasn't caught fire that many times. Anyway, This really is good night. Good night.